The stars above Mars Base 7 were calm that night. Commander Ethan Cole sat alone in the observatory, staring at the endless red horizon. He was a human engineer, the only one left awake after midnight shift. His team was asleep, but Ethan had a habit of staying late. The silence of space felt peaceful, until his computer beeped. At first, it was just static. Then a small, trembling voice spoke through the radio. "Hello? Human, can you hear me?" Ethan froze. No one was supposed to be out there. The message wasn't coming from any known channel. He leaned forward, heart pounding. "Yes, this is Commander Cole. Who is this?" He replied. There was silence. Then a small giggle. "You sound funny. My mom says humans are scary, but you don't sound scary." Ethan blinked in confusion. A child's voice out here? That was impossible. Mars was far from any alien civilization, or so the record said. He tried tracing the signal. The source wasn't from the nearby stations, and it was coming from deep space, somewhere near the asteroid belt. "Are you alone?" Ethan asked. "Yes," the child answered softly. "My mom went to fix something. She told me not to talk to strangers." "But you're a human, right?" "I've never met one before." Ethan hesitated. The voice sounded real, emotional, curious, innocent. Maybe it was a trap, or maybe someone needed help. "What's your name?" he asked. "I'm Lyra," the child said cheerfully. "You sound nice, Mr. Human. Are you single?" Ethan nearly choked on his coffee. "What?" Lyra laughed again, a pure sound through the static. "My mom's really kind. You have to marry her, okay?" For a moment, Ethan didn't know how to respond. He thought maybe this was a prank, some space pirates playing games on military frequencies. But the way the child spoke didn't sound fake. It was too natural, too alive. He decided to record everything. "Lyra, where are you right now?" "I'm on our ship. It's broken. Mom went outside to fix it, but she's been gone a long time." Her voice trembled a little. Ethan's heart tightened. There was something real in her tone. Fear.
"How long has she been gone?"
"I don't know. Maybe 10 sleeps? Or more. It's cold here and dark. The lights keep turning off." Ethan quickly calculated the coordinates from the radio frequency. It matched a region near the drifting Nebra zone, a dangerous place filled with old debris from the galactic wars. No one went there anymore. But if there really was a child stranded there, he grabbed his comms. "Control, this is Commander Cole. I'm picking up a weak distress signal. Possible life form, possibly a minor." Control responded sharply. "Cole, you are not authorized to pursue unknown signals. Could be a trap." Ethan looked again at the blinking light on his monitor. The voice came back, softer this time. "Mr. Human, it's getting dark again. Will you come?" That was it. He couldn't just ignore her. "Hang on, Lyra. I'm coming to get you." He quickly prepared his shuttle, ignoring the control center's repeated warnings. His AI assistant Nova spoke calmly as he started the engines. "Commander, this is a violation of mission protocol." "I know," he said, strapping in. "But if there's even a chance she's real, I can't just leave her to die." As his ship lifted off from Mars Base 7, the red dust cloud rose around him like smoke. He felt a mix of fear and determination. Who was this alien child? Why did she know about humans? And why did she talk about her mother like she wanted him to meet her? As the stars stretched into streaks of light, the radio crackled one more time. "Mr. Human, promise you'll come soon. Mom says humans are dangerous, but I told her you're not. I told her you'll save us." Ethan's hand tightened on the controls. "I promise, Lyra, I'm on my way." Then the transmission cut off. Silence filled the cabin. Only the sound of the engines hummed in the dark. Far away in the cold black space, a small alien ship drifted, lights flickering, oxygen dropping. And somewhere inside, a young alien girl with glowing blue eyes waited, clutching a holographic image of a human face she had never met, but already trusted. Commander Ethan Cole's shuttle tore through the void, its silver hull reflecting the dim light of distant stars. He was following the coordinates from Lyra's signal, a weak pulse that flickered every few minutes like a heartbeat fading in the dark. The AI voice broke the silence. "Commander, oxygen levels on the unidentified ship appear critically low. Life forms, possibly one, maybe two, very weak." Ethan leaned forward. "Keep tracking it, Nova. Prepare the rescue bay." "Yes, Commander. But you should know, the ship design doesn't match any known galactic registry." That made Ethan frown. Unknown ship, unknown species, and a child calling for help. He felt something strange in his chest, worry mixed with curiosity. Who was this alien girl, and why did she know about humans at all? The shuttle drifted closer to a cluster of metallic debris, broken satellites, old war junk. Then he saw it. A small vessel floating lifeless, half of it covered in frozen gas and dust. The alien ship looked elegant once, with curved white metal and blue energy rings, but now it was cracked and silent, like a tomb in space. Nova, open comms, try to hail them. Attempting, the AI replied. A pause, then static. Mr. Human.
Is that you?
Ethan exhaled with relief. Lyra, I found your ship. I'm right outside, the girl gasped softly. You came. I told Mom you would, but she's still outside. I can't wake her. Something cold went down Ethan's spine. What do you mean you can't wake her? Lyra didn't answer. Just silence and the sound of her quiet breathing. Ethan didn't wait. He grabbed his helmet and suit, then stepped into the airlock. Nova, keep scanning. Alert me if there's any danger. Understood. Proceed with caution. The outer doors opened and the dark swallowed him. He floated slowly toward the alien vessel, tethered to his shuttle by a thin glowing line. The ship's surface shimmered with faint blue light, alien technology far beyond human design, yet fragile, cracked like glass. When he reached the entrance, he saw faint claw marks near the airlock, like something had forced its way in, or out. He hesitated. Lyra, I'm at your door. Can you open it? A pause. Then the hatch hissed and unlocked. Ethan stepped inside. The air was thin, heavy with the metallic smell of burnt circuits. The corridors glowed dimly with emergency lights. He could hear a faint humming, maybe the last breath of the ship's dying systems. Then he saw her. Lyra was small, maybe 8 or 9 in human years. Her skin was pale silver, her eyes glowing soft blue. She wore a torn suit that looked too big for her, and she hugged a small round robot like a toy. When she saw him, her eyes widened. You're real, she whispered. A real human. Ethan smiled gently behind his visor. Yeah, I'm real. You must be Lyra. She nodded shyly, then frowned. You look different from the pictures. Pictures? She pointed at the little robot. It projected a faint hologram, a picture of Earth and humans smiling. Mom showed me this. She said humans used to be brave and kind. Ethan felt a lump in his throat. Used to be? Lyra's smile faded. She said, before the war. The mention of war made him tense. The galactic war between humans and the Varelians had ended decades ago, but the wounds were deep. Billions died. Many alien colonies still feared humans. Lyra, he said softly, where is your mother? Lyra's small hands gripped the robot tighter. Outside, fixing the power core, but she didn't come back. Her voice broke. She always comes back. Ethan crouched to her level. Don't worry. I'll find her. Before he could move, the lights flickered. The ship groaned, metal bending under pressure. Nova's voice came through his comms. Commander? Warning, the unstable energy readings from the ship's reactor. It's about to collapse! Ethan grabbed Lyra. We need to go now. But Lyra struggled. No, I can't leave without Mom. Lyra, if we stay, we'll die. Her glowing eyes filled with tears. You promised you'd help us. Ethan hesitated, 1 second too long. The floor shook violently. A bright flash lit the corridor. The reactor was failing. He lifted the girl into his arms. Hold on! He sprinted back toward the airlock, every second feeling longer than the last. The ship behind them began to split, blue light spilling out like lightning. As they reached the hatch, something moved in the dark, a shadow, drifting toward them. A tall figure in a broken suit carrying a welding torch, and glowing eyes just like Lyra's. Ethan froze. Mom? Lyra whispered. The figure lifted her head and a weak voice spoke through the comms. You, human, what have you done to my child? The ship shook again, and before Ethan could answer, the airlock door slammed shut between them. The airlock door slammed shut with a loud metallic thud, trapping Commander Ethan Cole and the small alien girl, Lyra, inside the collapsing ship. The floor vibrated under his boots. The reactor alarm screamed through the corridors like a dying heartbeat. Nova, open the hatch. Now, Ethan shouted into his comms. Negative, Commander, his AI replied. External interference, energy field blocking access. You're locked inside. Ethan cursed softly. He turned toward Lyra, who clung to his arm, eyes wide and glowing. "Stay close to me." From the other side of the sealed airlock, the tall shadow moved closer. The woman's shape became clearer in the flickering blue light. Her armor was cracked, her breathing slow and ragged. A long burn mark crossed her shoulder. "Mom," Lyra cried, pounding on the glass. "It's me." The alien woman lifted her head. Her eyes, deep blue like her daughter's, focused on Ethan. For a moment she looked confused. Then her voice echoed faintly through the broken comm system. "Human, you shouldn't be here." Ethan took a step forward. "I came because of your distress signal. Your daughter called for help." Lyra pressed her small hands against the window. "I told him you'd come back. I told him you're kind." The woman hesitated. Her face softened just for a heartbeat, before another explosion shook the hallway. Sparks rained from the ceiling. "The reactor is going critical," Ethan warned. "We need to get out before this whole ship blows." The alien mother turned her gaze toward the corridor. "The escape pod is damaged. I tried to fix it, but the power core is unstable. If we remove it, it will explode faster." Ethan's mind raced. He looked around the control room. Strange alien panels glowed with unreadable symbols. "Maybe I can stabilize it. I'm an engineer." Her eyes narrowed suspiciously. "A human engineer? Your kind caused the galactic collapse," Ethan didn't argue. "Maybe, but right now your ship's going to collapse if we don't work together." There was silence for a moment, just the sound of hissing air and distant rumbling. Then the woman slowly placed her hand against the glass. "I am Soraya of the Varelian line," she said. "If you lie, I will end you before the void does." Ethan pressed his hand against the glass in return. "Deal. Just open the door." With a sharp hiss, the lock released. The door slid open. The rush of stale air filled his lungs as he stepped forward, face to face with Soraya, the alien mother. Her silver skin shimmered under the flickering lights and her long hair floated slightly in the low gravity. Lyra ran straight into her arms, hugging her tightly. Soraya closed her eyes for a moment, whispering something in a language Ethan couldn't understand. Ethan cleared his throat. "We've got maybe 5 minutes before the reactor melts down. Lead me to the core." Soraya gave him a long, cautious look. "Follow me, human." They moved through narrow corridors filled with smoke and falling debris. Ethan noticed strange writing on the walls, symbols glowing faintly, as if the ship itself was alive. When they reached the engine chamber, Ethan finally saw it. A glowing orb suspended in a web of broken cables. It pulsed with unstable blue light, sending electric sparks through the room. Ethan whistled. "That's advanced. What powers this thing?" "Quantum plasma," Soraya answered. "Human hands cannot touch it." "Well," Ethan muttered, opening his toolkit. "Good thing I brought gloves." He began connecting a stabilizer cable from his suit to the reactor console. The alien systems resisted him, flashing warnings in unreadable code. Nova's voice came through his earpiece again. "Commander, your suit is overheating. Radiation rising fast." "I know," Ethan said through clenched teeth. "Just buy me 2 minutes." The floor shook again. Lyra held her mother tightly. "Mom, will he be okay?" Soraya's voice softened. "I don't know, my little star." Ethan gritted his teeth and forced the stabilizer into the core's circuit. A burst of energy threw him backward. He hit the wall hard, but the reactor's pulse slowed, once, twice, and then steadied. He lay there gasping, his vision spinning. "It's stable. For now." Soraya stared at him in disbelief. "You risked your life. For us?" Ethan smiled weakly. "You're welcome." The ship's lights flickered back to life. The emergency alarms went silent. For the first time, the room felt calm. Lyra ran to him, her glowing eyes full of gratitude. "You really are kind, Mr. Human." Soraya looked at him differently now. The suspicion in her face softened to something almost human, curiosity. "Perhaps my daughter was right," she murmured. "Not all humans are monsters." But before Ethan could reply, Nova interrupted again, voice sharp and urgent. "Commander!" 3 unidentified vessels approaching fast. Scanners detect Varelian military signatures. Soraya's expression hardened instantly. "They're coming for us," she said quietly. "For you?" Ethan asked. She shook her head slowly. "No, human. For you." Ethan's blood ran cold as the stars outside lit up with the glow of approaching warships. The light of the approaching ships flashed through the cracked windows, painting the walls in red and gold. Commander Ethan Cole stood by the reactor chamber, his suit still smoking from the repairs. Lyra clung to her mother's arm, her glowing eyes wide with fear. "Nova," Ethan said quietly. "Confirm their IDs." "Scanning. Confirmed Varelian Defense Fleet. 3 cruisers, 1 carrier. All weapons active," Ethan cursed under his breath. "They must have tracked the distress signal." Soraya's face turned pale silver. "No, they were monitoring me. I was once part of their science corps." Ethan frowned. "Why would a scientist be hunted?" She looked away. "Because I disobeyed orders. I saved a human." The words hit him like a shockwave. "You what?" Soraya met his eyes. "Years ago during the war, I found a wounded human soldier on the battlefield. Everyone said to leave him, but I couldn't. I healed him. When the council found out, they called me a traitor." Ethan stared at her. He had heard stories of Varelians, cold, logical beings who saw humans as primitive. Yet standing before him was a mother who risked her life for a stranger. Lyra looked up. "Mom always said kindness is stronger than laws." Outside, the warships drew closer. Ethan's shuttle was still attached to the alien hull, too small to outrun them. "Nova, any chance of jumping out?" "Negative," the AI replied. "Their energy fields have locked the area." Soraya moved to a control panel, her fingers dancing over glowing symbols. "We may have one option. There's an old cloaking device in the cargo bay. It's weak, but if we combine your ship's core with mine, it might hide us long enough to escape." Ethan finished. They exchanged a quick look. An unspoken agreement between 2 enemies turned survivors. Lyra watched them, hope flickering in her eyes. "You 2 work together like friends already," she giggled. "Maybe you really should marry her, Mr. Human." Ethan coughed, trying not to laugh. Let's survive first, okay?" Soraya rolled her eyes, but a small smile touched her lips for the first time. They ran through the narrow corridors toward the cargo bay. The ship groaned again, still unstable from the reactor shock. Ethan grabbed a heavy power cell while Soraya pulled open a locked panel. The air smelled of ozone and burning circuits. As they worked, Nova's calm voice broke through again. "Commander, enemy fleet hailing on open channel." Ethan nodded grimly. "Put them through." A harsh voice filled the air, cold, metallic, commanding. "This is Admiral Vec of the Varelian Council. You are harboring a fugitive and an illegal human presence. Power down your vessel and surrender immediately." Ethan answered. "This is Commander Cole of Mars Base 7. We're in distress. There's a child on board." "Stand down." The Admiral's tone didn't change. "You are outnumbered. Humans are forbidden within Varelian territory. Prepare to be boarded." The transmission cut. Soraya slammed her hand against the wall. "They won't listen. They'll destroy us just to keep their laws clean." Ethan loaded the power cell into the cloaking unit. "Then we give them something to chase." The ship shuddered as another blast hit its outer hull. A chunk of metal ripped away, exposing stars and vacuum. Lyra screamed as Ethan grabbed her, shielding her from the sudden wind. Soraya quickly sealed the hole with an emergency shield. "Cloak is ready," she said breathlessly. Ethan nodded. "Nova, activate it now!" The lights flickered. The entire ship vibrated. Outside, the Varelian ships fired again, but this time their sensors found nothing. The small vessel vanished into the dark like smoke in water. For a few seconds there was silence. No alarms, no voices. Only the hum of the engines. Lyra looked out the window amazed. "We disappeared." Ethan exhaled. "For now," Soraya turned to him. "You risked your life again for us." He smiled faintly. "Guess I have a habit of helping stubborn aliens." Her eyes softened. "You're not like the others." Before Ethan could reply, Nova spoke again. "Commander, incoming transmission encrypted." "It's human." Ethan froze. "What?" The screen flickered, revealing the symbol of the Terran Defense Command. A familiar voice spoke. "Commander Cole, this is Admiral Reyes. You are to secure the alien scientist and child. Bring them in alive. They hold classified technology." Soraya's eyes widened. "They're using you too." Ethan's jaw tightened. "They told me it was just a rescue mission." Reyes's voice continued coldly. "Do not trust the Varelians. Their data could win us the next war. If they resist, use force." The message ended. Silence returned. Ethan looked at the mother and daughter standing before him, the same ones he'd nearly died saving. Lyra's small hand slipped into his. "You're not going to hurt us." "Right, Mr. Human?" she whispered. Ethan stared at her glowing eyes, then at Soraya's wary expression. He took a deep breath. No, Lyra, I'm not hurting anyone. Nova's voice came again, calm but uncertain. Commander, this means you're defying direct human orders. I know, Ethan said softly. Guess I'm a traitor now, too. Soraya looked at him for a long time. Then she said quietly, Welcome to our side, human. Outside, the stars burned brighter as both human and Varelian fleets began to close in, each one hunting the same small ship, and the man who had chosen to protect an alien child over his own kind. The small ship drifted silently through the edge of an asteroid field, hidden under its weak cloak. Commander Ethan Cole stared at the stars outside, his thoughts heavy. Both fleets, human and Varelian, were searching for them. For the first time, he was no longer sure who the enemy was. Lyra sat near the window, her little fingers tracing glowing shapes on the glass. Mr. Human, she said softly, why are they fighting? Ethan looked at her innocent face. Because people are afraid of what they don't understand. Soraya was working on a console, adjusting wires and screens that flickered with strange symbols. Her hands moved fast but tiredly. Afraid or greedy, she said quietly. Humans and Varelians both want what's inside my daughter. Ethan turned sharply.
Inside her?
What do you mean? Soraya stopped working. She hesitated, then faced him fully. Lyra isn't like other Varelian children. She was born from an experiment that should never have happened. Ethan frowned. Experiment? Soraya nodded slowly. I was part of a secret science project, the Cross-Gene Initiative. We were studying how to adapt to hostile planets by combining our DNA with other species. It was banned after the war. Ethan's heart skipped. You mean Lyra isn't fully Varelian? Soraya's eyes glowed faintly.
No, her DNA is half human. The words hung in the air like thunder.
Ethan stared at the child in disbelief. That's impossible. The genetics between our species don't even— It shouldn't be possible, Soraya interrupted. But it worked. Lyra's blood can survive radiation, breathe thin air, even heal faster than both our kinds. She's the bridge between two races. Lyra blinked, not fully understanding. Is that bad? Soraya knelt beside her, brushing her silver hair gently. It's not bad, my little star. But others think it is. The Council believes she's a threat, and now, humans want her power. Ethan paced slowly, trying to absorb it all. That's why both sides are hunting you. They don't want peace, they want control. Soraya nodded. Exactly. The child who could unite the galaxy might instead start another war. Ethan clenched his fists. Not if I can help it. Nova's calm voice broke the silence. Commander, a human transmission has reactivated on your private channel. Shall I play it? Ethan hesitated. Go ahead. The hologram of Admiral Reyes appeared again, his face stern. Commander Cole, you are now classified rogue. You are ordered to surrender immediately. If you continue aiding the alien fugitives, you will be marked as an enemy of Earth. Lyra flinched at the word enemy. Ethan's jaw tightened. They won't stop, will they? Soraya looked at him quietly. Would you if your leaders told you it was for humanity's survival? Ethan thought about it and shook his head. Not if it meant killing a child. Soraya's eyes softened. You really are different. Before he could answer, Nova's voice turned sharp. Commander, warning. One of the asteroids is moving. It's not natural. Ethan rushed to the cockpit. A huge shadow drifted toward them. The asteroid unfolded like a machine, metal wings spreading open. It was a cloaked drone, a hunter unit from the Varelian fleet. They found us, Ethan shouted. Soraya jumped to the controls. I'll divert power to shields. Hold on. The drone fired a beam of plasma, shaking the whole ship. Sparks burst from the ceiling. Lyra screamed as the lights went out. Ethan grabbed the emergency lever and turned it hard. Nova, reroute engine power. Attempting, the AI responded. Systems at 40%. Soraya's voice trembled. We can't outrun it. Ethan glanced at Lyra, terrified, clutching her robot toy. He made a decision. Then we fight. He reached under his seat and pulled out a pulse rifle. Nova, open outer hatch. Manual aim mode. Commander, that's suicide. Do it. The hatch opened, sucking cold air into the cabin. Ethan stepped into the tiny outer deck, gravity boots locking him to the surface. The stars spread around him like fire. The drone charged again, its eyes glowing red. Ethan took aim. Come on, you metal snake. He fired once, twice, blue bolts slicing through the dark. The drone's shield absorbed them easily. But Soraya shouted from inside, "Aim for the core." "Under its wing." He adjusted and fired again. The third shot hit true. The drone exploded, scattering metal shards across space. Ethan fell to one knee, gasping for breath. "Target down." Soraya ran to him as the hatch closed. For the first time, she looked at him not as an enemy, but as something more. "You saved us again," she whispered. He smiled weakly. "Guess I'm getting good at it." Lyra hugged him tightly. "You're my hero, Mr. Human." Soraya looked at the stars outside, her voice trembling. "There will be more coming. You can still escape. Leave us here." Ethan stood tall. "No, I started this rescue and I'm finishing it. Whatever secret Lyra carries, I'll protect it." For a long moment, Soraya said nothing. Then very softly, she murmured, "You sound like the man I once saved." Ethan's eyes widened. "What did you say?" Soraya turned away, hiding her expression. "Nothing. Rest now. You'll need strength for what's coming next." Outside the window, the stars flickered, and among them a distant glow appeared. More ships closing in fast. The chase wasn't over. The ship floated in silence once more, hidden deep within the swirling mist of a nebula. Commander Ethan Cole sat in the dim cockpit, staring at the stars through cracked glass. His body ached, his mind heavy with questions he couldn't push away. Soraya was at the back, repairing a damaged console. Her movements were slow but careful, like someone who had done this for years. Lyra slept nearby, wrapped in a soft silver blanket, her small hands clutching her round robot toy. Her glow had dimmed, but she was safe for now. Ethan's voice broke the silence. "You said something earlier. About the man you saved? The human." Soraya paused but didn't look up. "It's in the past." "Maybe, but I need to know," he said gently. "You said I sounded like him." Her fingers stopped moving. Slowly, she stood and turned to face him. "You really want the truth, human?" Ethan nodded. Soraya walked closer, her silver eyes reflecting the faint light. "It was 20 years ago during the last cycle of the Human-Varelian War. I was a field medic for the Science Corps. My ship crashed on the edge of a human battle zone. That's where I found him, a wounded pilot. Half his body burned, lungs failing. Ethan's heart beat faster. "And you helped him?" She nodded softly. "Yes, my people ordered me to leave him. But I couldn't. He kept saying one thing over and over, 'Don't let the stars go dark.' I didn't know what it meant. But I healed him anyway." Ethan leaned forward, his throat dry. "What happened to him?" Soraya looked away. "When the human fleet arrived, they destroyed everything. They thought I was the enemy. The pilot vanished, and I was captured by my own kind." Her voice trembled for the first time. "They punished me for saving him. Called me a traitor. Exiled me. I was supposed to die alone." Ethan's eyes softened. "You didn't." She smiled faintly. "No, because months later I found out I was carrying a child." He froze. "Lyra," Soraya nodded. "Her birth was impossible. But she survived. A living mix of two races that hated each other." Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. He stood, walking slowly toward her. "That pilot, do you remember his name?" She looked up at him. "Yes, Captain Elias Cole." Ethan stopped breathing. The name hit him like lightning. "His father." He stumbled back, gripping the console for support. "My father." "You saved my father." Soraya's eyes widened. "Your father?" Ethan nodded slowly. "He disappeared during the last war. Everyone said he died in a Varelian attack. But he used to tell me stories when I was a boy. About a woman with glowing eyes who saved him when he was near death. I thought it was just a dream." Soraya's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then fate has a cruel sense of humor." Ethan laughed softly, though his eyes glistened. "You saved him, and now his son saved you." For a moment, neither spoke. The nebula light danced across their faces, painting them in soft blues and purples. Then Nova's voice cut through the silence. "Commander, incoming transmission from Earth Command. Priority 1, Ethan sighed. "Put it through." The hologram of Admiral Reyes flickered to life again. His expression was colder than before. "Commander Cole, your location has been detected. You are surrounded. Power down your vessel and surrender the alien child." Ethan's voice hardened. "She's not a weapon." Reyes ignored him. "You have no idea what you're protecting. That hybrid could destabilize the entire galactic genome. If she falls into Varelian hands, it's the end of humanity." Ethan glanced at Soraya. "And what if she's the key to saving both?" Reyes's voice sharpened. That's not your decision, Commander. Stand down or Earth will consider you an enemy combatant. The transmission cut abruptly. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. Lyra stirred from her sleep, blinking at them with tired eyes. Are we safe now? Ethan knelt beside her and brushed her hair gently. We will be. I promise, Soraya looked at him quietly. You can still leave, Ethan. They'll forgive you if you hand us over. He shook his head firmly. My father believed the stars shouldn't go dark. I think this, he looked at her then at Lyra, is what he meant. You're the light, Soraya. She's the future. Soraya's eyes softened, but fear still lingered. Then we must run. There's an old wormhole gate at the edge of this nebula. It leads beyond mapped space. If we reach it, they can't follow. Ethan nodded. Plot the course. Nova, charge the engines. Understood, the AI replied. But there's one problem, Commander. The gate is guarded, by both fleets. Ethan looked out the window, his jaw tightening. Then we'll have to break through. Lyra stood between them, her small hands glowing faintly. I can help, she said quietly. Soraya turned quickly. No, your power is unstable. But Ethan's gaze stayed on the girl. Maybe that's exactly what we need. Soraya's eyes filled with fear, and something else. Hope. Outside the nebula, hundreds of ships began to move, forming a wall of light across the stars. The final chase was about to begin. The stars ahead burned brighter than ever as the small ship approached the wormhole gate. It spun in the void like a giant silver ring, alive with swirling blue energy. Around it, hundreds of warships gathered, human and Varelian fleets both, locked in a silent standoff. Commander Ethan Cole gripped the controls tightly. Nova status? Engines at maximum output. Cloaking field unstable. Will be visible in 30 seconds. Soraya's voice was steady, though fear hid beneath it. Once they see us, both fleets will fire. We won't survive. Lyra stood between them, her eyes glowing brighter than ever, pale blue light spilling across her small hands. Maybe they won't have to shoot, she whispered. Ethan turned. Lyra, what are you doing? She looked calm, almost peaceful. I can feel the gate calling me. It's alive. Like it knows me. Soraya's eyes widened in horror. No, Lyra. Your body can't handle that much energy. It will destroy you. Lyra shook her head slowly. Maybe not. Maybe it will listen. The ship trembled. The wormhole's gravity pulled harder now, dragging everything closer. The fleets opened comms at once, angry human voices mixing with alien commands. This is Admiral Reyes. Stand down or be fired upon. Varelian, command to all units. Neutralize the hybrid at once. Ethan slammed his hand on the console. They'll destroy each other. They'll destroy her. Soraya looked at him helplessly. They'll never stop, Ethan. They fear what they don't understand. He looked at Lyra, small, trembling, but glowing with something beyond both science and faith. Then maybe it's time they see. He turned to her. Lyra, what do you want to do? Lyra smiled softly, a tear gliding down her silver cheek. I want to make them stop fighting. Before either could stop her, she pressed her small hand to the ship's central core. The entire vessel filled with light. Lyra, no! Soraya shouted. Ethan shielded his eyes as the glow grew blinding. Nova's voice faltered. Commander, energy levels exceeding measurable limits. Then silence outside the fleets froze. Sensors failed. Weapons shut down. For a single endless moment, every ship around the gate stopped moving. A new light emerged from the center. A brilliant pulse spreading through space like a heartbeat. It wasn't a weapon, it was a song. The sound vibrated through metal and minds alike. Humans and Varelians heard it not with ears, but with memory, with emotion. The hatred, the fear, the endless wars, it all melted away, replaced by something pure. Understanding. Lyra floated in the center of the glow, her small figure suspended like a star. Her voice echoed softly, calm and innocent. Mom said kindness is stronger than laws, and Mr. Human said the stars shouldn't go dark, so I'll make them shine for everyone. Soraya fell to her knees, tears streaming down her silver face. Lyra, please, come back. Ethan held her shoulders as the light began to fade. She's not dying, Soraya. She's changing the universe. The wormhole shifted color from blue to gold. It grew calmer, warmer. The energy waves rippled outward, reaching every ship. Admiral Reyes, watching from his human command deck, whispered, What?
What have we done?
On the Varelian flagship, their admiral lowered his weapon. The hybrid. She speaks peace. As the final pulse faded, Lyra's small form drifted back toward the ship. Ethan caught her gently, his heart pounding. Her glow was faint now, but she was breathing. I did it, she whispered weakly. They stopped fighting. Soraya held her tightly, sobbing. My little star. You did what no army could. Ethan smiled through tears. You just united two worlds. Outside, the fleet slowly backed away from the gate, silent, uncertain, but no longer at war. Nova's calm voice returned. Commander. Incoming transmissions from both fleets. They are requesting negotiations. Soraya looked at Ethan. They're asking you. He laughed softly. Guess I'm the first man to end a war by listening to a child. Lyra giggled weakly. See, Mom? I told you humans are nice. Soraya smiled for the first time without pain. Yes, my daughter. This one truly is. As the ship drifted near the glowing wormhole, the nebulous colors reflected off their faces. The war was over, at least for now. The galaxy was quiet again. Ethan stood beside Soraya and Lyra, watching the new dawn of light spread through space. So, he said softly, about that marriage offer your daughter made. Soraya rolled her eyes but smiled. Perhaps, after the peace treaty. Lyra laughed, her voice bright and pure. I knew it. Humans always keep promises. Ethan grinned. Guess we do. And as the stars shimmered brighter than ever, the ship disappeared into the golden light, carrying a human, an alien, and a child who had changed the fate of the galaxy forever.